Today marks the 2-year anniversary of the Love Doctor training. But in some ways, you could say that next month will be the 10-year anniversary. That is because 10 years ago, I lived through a profound experience in my life that changed the way that I relate to my emotions, to myself, to others, and to the world around me. And through this video, I want to take you through the journey that unfolded and how it came together into now what is the Love Doctor training. In September 2013, I was in Paris. I was waiting for my visa to return to New York, where I had freshly gotten a job, and I received a phone call to let me know that my beloved Adrian had gotten in an accident and was no longer on this earth. I remember sitting on the ground of that studio apartment and grappling with the idea that I might have just lost my best friend and my most intimate and engaging relationship. When I returned to New York, this had changed me. I was processing the shock for once of that news, and I was asking myself all of the biggest questions. Okay, Nora, if this is life, what do you want it to be about? What do you need? What can you offer? How can you communicate about this? And radically, my life transformed because it looked great on Facebook, but it became apparent that I couldn't connect to half of the people in my life at the depth at which I needed to be relating at that time. And that experience, in fact, opened up a very different New York for me, because I followed those who could hold the type of space that I needed at the time. And I engaged with every single modality that gave me a sense of expansion and understanding and clarity about my process. So meditation, yoga, dynamic meditation, dance, breath work, and soon enough, plant medicines entered my life, where I got to understand what emotions were, how did they live in the body and move and could be processed through the body, and what the concept of healing even was about, how our formative experiences condition and shape us for the subsequent one, and really how the psyche operates subconsciously. So I took this big introspective journey over close to a decade that provided a sense of liberation through all of the conditioning that was actually keeping me small or keeping me constricted. And through that process, I remember vowing to myself that I wouldn't let this experience or the other difficult one that I had had in my life keep my heart locked. I kept on returning to this Rumi quote that says, "Keep on breaking your heart until it breaks open." And this is how it felt for me. I felt like my heart was shattered open and my soul then on display, and I chose it. The experience was so beautiful and mirrored back at me with every person that I interacted with so genuinely and authentically. Now, aside of this journey in the healing arts, there was this part of my life that you'd call intimacy and sacred intimacy that I always gave a lot of time to, that I always dedicated a lot of time to, but that I had put on the back burner because I thought this was just for my own merry joy, and it wasn't as urgent or relevant for the collective than all of those other modalities for healing that I was getting familiar with. But eventually, the experiences that I had with my own body and within my own partnerships showed me otherwise. I was like, wait a minute, this is as powerful as all of those other tools. And I can still remember the day that I got what you would call yoni activation. I had known about my pleasure points for some time already then, but I'd never worked my body in something that was way beyond pleasure, that was effectively healing. And I remember her the next day being like, wait a minute, is this what Tantra is about? And how do we get this to everybody? Everybody needs to know that. At that point, I effectively brought the tantric path at the foreground and said, I'm going to study this now, formally. Love as an art form. What does it mean to love intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, physically? And how can we create the type of spaces in which we can unearth the deepest parts of our soul to be seen, to be held, to empower ourselves, and to heal every little small thought we ever had about ourselves. Let me tell you that there isn't one aspect of this work that doesn't make it worth it. All of it is so worth it. It is non-toxic. It is driving our lives, whether we want it or not, consciously or unconsciously, every day. So knowing how to engage with this life force energy, primary life force energy, without abusing it or neglecting it, but honoring its power to create anything that we might want in life, including babies, but including projects, so new versions, new iteration of ourselves, is the most powerful modality I have encountered that radically changed the quality of life at the individual level and then at the collective level. Because when you start feeling so close to yourself and so close to others, you can feel good, think good, do good. That is how, through this 10-year journey, I came to understand myself so profoundly and collected all of the tools that have been so helpful to me to now share them through this training so that we can all crack this code and make the type of love that actually heals the world.